Hey everyone, welcome back to another wrestling review. Woo! But you can tell by the thumbnail, you can tell by Campo's shirt, we will be reviewing the pay-per-view that happened last weekend, which was Walk That Aisle one last time, Ric Flair's last match. Before we get started, Discord server launched it a few weeks ago. You'll find a link in the comment box below. Go on and give that a follow. Anytime we have more new wrestling content or anytime I post a video, it'll be in that Discord server. So go on and give that a follow. Next month, I will be in New York for Dynamite. You want to follow my adventures? Instagram, Johnny Donuts 777, and the Discord server to see all that AEW fun that I'll be having next month in New York. With me once again, Campo. What's up, buddy?
I'm good. And by the way, guys, I'm going to be forcing him to make shorts out of videos to post from his AEW thing. So
I will. They will definitely be on there. When Chris Jericho does any type of fireball wizard magic, it'll
I just want
definitely
you to get all of the moments when they sing, like everyone sings together.
Oh yeah. If they come out and sing Fozzy, definitely
Or
will
like
be
just Adam Cole, baby.
yeah. Now that he's back, but that's not what we're talking about today. We are talking about Ric Flair's last match.
Yep.
Stacked card, a lot better than I expected it to be.
Everything was better than I expected it to be.
I think what kept it good, there were 9 matches on the card. We're not going to talk about the pre-show, but there were 9 matches on the main card. Every match except one, maybe 2, were under 10 minutes.
Yeah, and I'll give you guys the pre-card. It wasn't good.
Yeah.
They were just 2 whatever matches. So
yeah. There was that other one. There was the Battle Royal, the gauntlet match to see who faces Moxley, right?
Oh, I didn't even know about that. Did I miss that?
There was a Battle Royal, like a gauntlet match, they called it, or whatever it was.
Who won?
I don't know. The guy who beat Bully Ray, I forgot his name.
Oh,
Wayne.
I just saw that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, but yeah.
So wait, did the event, the Royal Rumble thing lead to the match between Bully Ray and whoever?
Yeah. No, okay. So it wasn't a Royal Rumble match. It was a gauntlet match. So 2 people start in the ring. Once one person gets pinned out, the next person comes in, kind of thing. And you keep going until you
clearly
lose.
Clearly, I missed all of that because I only caught the ending of that match.
Yeah. So
I thought the whole match was just that guy versus.
No. It was more convoluted than that. But yeah, so I didn't watch the pre-show. Just too much to watch, too much to do. We start off with Bob Caudle. I don't know where they dug this guy up from, but they brought Bob Caudle back. And you had Tony Schiavone and Dave Crockett on the commentary for most of the night.
What Dave had like a lot more star power than was expected. Like I was expecting to not enjoy myself, but once I saw Tony Schiavone, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be great.
You know what sold me? The old WCW set.
Did you see that with the thing glued on, that like piece of paper?
Yes.
Oh man!
As soon as I saw that, I'm like, yes, this is WCW Saturday Night all over again. This is like 1984, 1985 all over again.
It was really great.
Yeah,
there was a lot of things here that were just like spot on, exactly what I wanted and didn't know.
It's I think the producers were Scott D'Amore, Conrad Thompson, who is Ric Flair's son-in-law.
Conrad was one of them.
Yeah, and I think Jarrett and Bully Ray were also producers on this show.
Yeah.
So clearly they know what they're doing.
Intimate environment. This is like the beginning of where it all started. This is where NWA used to have all their matches. This was like home base.
Yeah. So so at that point I'm already invested in this show.
Oh, it was Mance Warner. That's how we got the stupid Mance Warner. You know what I've been freaking out this whole week of why some random dude is facing John Moxley.
Mance Warner. That's it. Yeah.
Well, you could tell I was not paying attention here.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll get into the first match. Solid match. Motor City Machine Guns against the American Wolves.
Yeah, so this match and the next match are fine.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that I was like super into it, but they were fine. They were better than I thought it was going to be. I also was not expecting really, even though I looked at the card, I was not expecting like a lot of big caliber wrestlers. So when I saw Motor City Machine Guns, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. And a reuniting American Wolves. Davey Richards and Richards and Edwards have not, like, they've had their history. They had a war with each other about 10 years ago in Ring of Honor. Like, They were former tag champions. These were like early 2000s. Like these were the guys that made the Briscoes who they are.
And sweethearts, the little touches, bringing out the announcer from every company that had someone in the match. Like you got.
So you had Rick Iacoboni in this match commentating. No, was it Scott D'Amore on this match? Scott D'Amore on this match.
He came out later. Rick Yakupov.
Yeah, Yakov Smirnoff. But I mean, this had that early 2000s ROH type of vibe, early Impact, like back when they were still TNA.
There was a lot of audio difficulties here, especially with picking up the crowd. So I didn't realize this until a few matches in, that the crowd was going nuts.
Yeah.
But you couldn't hear anything that was happening in the crowd because there was no mic on ringside to pick up the sounds of, they were only getting the in-ring noises.
Yep.
So it's like, and then all of a sudden, randomly, a couple matches later, it cut in on someone's intro, and I was like, holy
jarring.
Crap, it's friggin' loud in this place.
It was jarring, yeah. And by the way, also nice touch bringing back Hugo Savinovich and Carlos Cabrera.
They did a lot of awesome things. Like I had a smile on for a majority of this thing.
It was a great nostalgia trip for me.
Yeah. For me too. This is the era of wrestling that I like remember, even though a lot of it's before me.
Yeah,
but like you know me, I always rented all the movies and stuff, so I knew all the
Coliseum home videos. Yeah, but then we get a little after the match. The Guns go over. They beat the Wolves. Decent little match. We get a little promo. We get some ringside shots of Santino, Al Snow. I don't know where they found Al Snow.
Yeah, and the crowd stuff. So Undertaker was there, McFoley, DDP, Bret Hart's there at the end. You can see him. This is a cool. Can I when he? We'll get to that later.
We'll get to it when we get to it. Next, we had another quick squash match, which was Davey Boy Smith Jr. against Killer Kross,
who immediately got signed to WWE
right after this. Yeah.
But yeah, this was not bad.
Yeah.
Once again, just a fine match.
I'm shocked at the quickness. Like, how did Davey Smith Jr. never become a star? Yeah. He has the power of his father, the technical ability of his uncle Brett. I think maybe he's lacking a little bit in charisma, but like this.
I mean, I love the jackets.
Yeah,
I love the that they all have this jacket. Like Natalia has one, he has one.
The heart, the black jacket with the skull.
To me, that's really cool.
Yeah. And yeah, this guy should have been a star. There was a point in the match when they were no selling each other. They were just hitting each other with suplexes, and they were getting up and like no selling each other's suplexes.
Yeah, it was a fun match.
Yeah, it was just two big guys, but that's how you do a big guy match right.
Yeah, and zero so far. We're 2-0 for not having a bad match.
Yeah.
So 2-0.
We're about to go 3-0 because you had Jonathan Gresham versus Takeshi.
Oh wait, who went over in the last match?
It was Killer Kross, wins by submission.
Okay.
Yeah. Then, like I said, third match of the night. I'm excited about this one. Gresham, Takeshita, Alan Angels, and Nick Wayne.
Listen, no one's seen Alan Angels since the time when he almost beat Kenny Omega, and everyone in the world hated it because they're like, why would Kenny Omega put over
Alan Angels,
an indie wrestler?
But the kid's only like, what, 22, 23?
Yeah, okay, let's talk about Nick Wayne. He's like 16.
Yes. Was he even allowed to wrestle? Like,
what a match. When I saw these two guys, I was like, oh, this is going to suck. But then when Jonathan Gresham came out, I just expected...
and he came out in full attire this time with the octopus mask.
But he did that on purpose because he was mad at that thing. But when...
and Takeshita. Oh my God, Takeshita.
Takeshita came out. I was like, it's going to be a squash match. But then when I saw Jonathan Gresham, I'm telling you, I got audibly excited. I was like, there's no way they pulled Jonathan Gresham for this match. What a match.
His wife convinced him to be on the card.
What a match.
Hey, both he and his wife went over. We'll get to that later. But yeah, fantastic match. Another one that wasn't long at all. No, Takeshita is so
well worked.
Is so impressive. And I got more out of Jonathan Gresham in this match than I did out of the Claudio Castagnoli match.
Oh, he looked good too. They made him look really good in this.
Like, yeah. And he goes over. They put Gresham over.
Well deserved. I think after everything that's happened.
But the thing is too, they made Alan Angels look strong too.
They made Takeshita look fantastic.
Yeah.
And so did Alan Angels and Nick Wayne. So congratulations for them. But I think after everything that went on with
Gresham and
Jonathan Gresham, having him win this match at this kind of event, because this event by the end of it, to me, felt a lot more special than it had any right being.
It's an event that gets you right in the feels.
And it shouldn't have been that. But it ended up being that. And I was like, geez, you know what? I'm really glad I watched this.
What I was thinking the whole time I was watching this, I was thinking, you know, Ric Flair has always had a stigma about him that he never put people over, right? This whole show was a showcase to put these young up and coming wrestlers over.
What a fantastic job.
And that's exactly what it was. Like people that you haven't seen. So you get a little bit of the nostalgia factor. You get a lot of good indie wrestlers or a lot of guys that maybe don't get enough TV time on their respective companies.
I mean, for you dropped us in the next dumb match that had no right even being watchable.
Yeah.
But then you show me a little Rock and Roll Express with the heritage behind it, having the son and the legacy, and then you show me
which they didn't explain what happened to Robert Gibson. What happened to Robert Gibson?
He got injured or something.
Is he injured?
Yeah.
But I mean, this dude's like, was it Ricky Martin's only a couple years older than your dad, isn't he?
Yeah, and it's like they used him properly.
Yeah.
Which I can't say the same for Ric Flair as that comes up. But
that'll come up when it comes up. But yeah. But I mean, even a couple years ago, Ricky Martin and Robert Gibson, the Rock and Roll Express, they were NWA tag champs a couple years ago.
Listen, sweetheart, you threw those 4 Horsemen jackets on and you gave me Arn Anderson, and I was just screaming woo for the entire match.
And oh my God, how much Brock looks like a younger version of his dad.
Yeah, Arn.
And same thing with Pillman.
Pillman was the best part of this match.
Yeah.
We don't get enough of him on AEW.
No. And he worked better in a tag with Anderson than he does with what's his name?
He absolutely does.
I'd rather see this tag team participate.
I mean, what's his name?
I can't remember.
His son.
Brock?
Was it Kerry Morton?
Oh, Kerry Morton, yeah.
He was pretty good too.
Yeah, and he's a young kid too. He
did a really good job selling for the match.
And he protected his dad. Like, not in a way of like physically protecting, but like...
No, he had to, because obviously you don't want Ricky out there taking the beating.
Right. But yeah, and it's like... it was another good match. Like, I'd watch, call them like the New Horsemen or something, these two, and just let them go. Can you imagine?
Okay, look, but they have Arn Anderson.
Yes.
Under AEW, don't they?
No.
But he's not under WWE, is he?
No.
Okay, so he's a free agent.
Yeah.
You have Tully Blanchard kicking around. Ric Flair is a free agent, technically.
Yeah.
Why can't we have a 4 Horsemen stable in AEW?
I'm telling you, like,
and have Arn just be their manager.
Take the Varsity Blondes, add in Brock Anderson, call them like the New Horsemen or something. I'd watch that any day.
Yeah.
I'd watch that any day. Like, can you imagine Brock Anderson and Brian Pillman in a match against FTR? Like
Midnight Express versus the 4 Horsemen.
Like, honestly, like fantasy booking 101 over here.
So I knew this was going to happen. See, we're off topic.
Yeah, we just get so excited, right? But still, it was all Kerry. Like, Kerry had a good showing. Ricky can still go. It was a great, and you said it too, it's a great showcase for Brian Pillman Jr. in this match.
Yeah.
He really shined in this match. He came out looking like $1 million.
And this is like just, baby, sweetheart, the next match. Let's get there.
All right. They showed JJ Dillon in the crowd, and then they went into this lucha style match, which was Rey Fenix versus Bandito versus the Laredo Kid versus Black Taurus.
And when they had the who was out there, I can't remember who came out to announce.
Was it Jacoboni?
I don't remember, but they kept telling what's his face. They're like, wait till you see this. Wait till you watch this match.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, wait till you watch this match.
Yes, because what's his name? Crockett is not too familiar with these.
Crockett, there you go. I don't know. I couldn't remember. His name's Davey Crockett.
Davey Crockett. Look at me. I'm Davey Crockett.
But what a match.
Yeah. Fantastic match.
I did not.
I put down here, Laredo Kid has the best music.
Oh, dude, I didn't even care one time. Forget about the music. One time of the 17 times where they just stood around waiting for someone to jump on them. I did not care at all. I was so into this match, and a guy with a giant friggin' Minotaur head, like his name is Black Taurus.
Did you see that one spot though, where I think it was Laredo Kid does the dive over the top ropes, and Taurus catches him before he cracks his head on the ground?
There was some Ray Phoenix is a monster.
Yeah, the guy even said, he goes, "This guy is this generation's Rey Mysterio."
Yeah, and it's funny because before this, I had just watched one or two videos by random ass people where they were talking about how people have been saying behind the scenes they think of him as this generation's Rey Mysterio, and he really is. I mean, mind you, I think Penta's better, but still,
yes, they're both fantastic.
Oh, there's a big match coming up.
Yeah, and Bandito, Laredo Kid, like all these guys, like it was such a high flying, like in action intense. Like you said, you didn't care whether the three guys are standing around. Like Taurus doing the suicide dive through the like he's literally this huge bull. Like
I know it's like, yeah, it was good, man.
Yeah.
We're off to an excellent start here.
Yeah, like, I mean, what is it? We're 5 for 5 on the matches now.
This show was like 3.5 hours, and at this point, we were like halfway in, and I did not even notice what time it was.
It didn't feel like it at all. I think because they kept the matches short and they kept you entertained.
They were such good matches.
Yeah. Which, again, next one. Jacob Fatu against Josh Alexander.
And this was a point when I was like, wait, they're putting titles on the line?
They had the Impact Heavyweight Championship.
Now you really had me paying attention, because now you're and this what this event did also to help
promote
and reinvigorate Impact, because ROH is okay now because we know they're owned by AEW.
Yeah, but this set up a huge angle coming up on Impact now. This match, huge angle.
Oh, and the little package was great.
Yeah.
There's a legacy here. There's a lot. Josh Alexander is like a great Canadian wrestler, by the way. He might
Bolton, Ontario, baby. Bolton, Ontario.
He might make the list one day.
But and like, and the fact that the Jacob Fatu is the Usos' legit cousin.
Yeah, and Rikishi's good.
Rikishi's his uncle. Like him and Sam Anoa'i. Sam Anoa'i is Rikishi's twin brother.
He has the look of like
Umaga.
Umaga, yeah, or like what were they called? I don't know. I can't.
The Wild Samoans, maybe.
Yeah, like and I kind of like that.
He's like the Samoan wrecking machine, yeah.
But this didn't bother me, man. It was a good match too, a really good match. He did a lot of. He jumped out of the ring at one point.
He did a freaking Hurricane Rana.
Yeah,
and this ended. Believe it or not, this ended in a no contest. Matt Cardona came in with Brian Myers, and they kind of not ruined the match, but they gave it a no contest, a disqualification match, because he came in. Sorry,
but
I didn't mind it.
Worked because you protected both guys.
Yeah, and you're setting up an angle, and now there's so many ways you can go with this. You can do a tag now with Alexander and Fatu against Myers and Cardona. You can do a title match now between Alexander and Cardona because he never.
Was it Cardona on commentary?
No.
Who came out and did commentary?
I can't remember. Scott D'Amore again, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm getting lost.
Yeah.
A lot happened here.
Yeah. A lot more, like, for a show that's not connected to any other major wrestling program, they set up a lot of angles.
Yeah, and then right after this, you got a little bit of Jeff and Jerry Jarrett with Jerry the King Lawler.
Yes,
in the back, which was so.
We also didn't count DDP coming in the ring and giving Cardona a diamond cutter.
That was sick. That was so sick. Because if you saw how he played it, he moved up front and was sitting next to McFoley like nothing was going on, and then he just jumped over the thing. And he had.
And then you see Josh Alexander; he's just kind of like backing up. All right, you got it.
He had the crowd more than anything that happened so far in this. When he was doing the bang and they were playing his theme song. I love that theme song.
That knockoff, like, smells like Teen Spirit.
But it's like when he was going bang, he had the whole audience going. Yeah. Yo, DDP can sell, baby. That's That's my new thing, by the way. I just say baby and sweetheart.
Baby, sweetheart. I noticed you've been saying sweetheart a lot.
It's my new wrestling announcer gimmick.
That's it. That's it. Again, now we're 6 for 6. And then you had this little vignette in the back, which I loved, where the guy's trying to get in for an interview with Jeff Jarrett. You had Jerry Jarrett, Jerry Lawler, like how he's like, it sets up the match so well, and it makes Jarrett look like that much more of a heel, because Ric Flair has always been known as the dirtiest player in the game. He's always been the heel, but they want him to be the baby face in this one, obviously, right? So they did a really good job trying to
set up a whole angle for a one-off pay-per-view.
Yeah,
like the package, which we see later, but we might as well just hear. It shows them beating him up in the parking lot.
Yeah,
he bleeds.
That they were training together, and it's like, oh, but there's no room for you on the card. Like when I remember, like, was that a shoot? I remember thinking to myself, is that a work or a shoot?
They played it in social media like it was real.
Yeah,
they did interviews talking shit about each other, but then when you watch it back, you realize that they had no other way to promote this angle except to make it look real.
Because originally it wasn't supposed to be a tag match, wasn't it? Was it supposed to be originally?
I think it was just supposed to be Ric Flair versus one of the Rock and Roll Express guys.
Okay.
Fuck, I don't want to watch that.
No. But yeah, and that the way they set up that angle was fantastic. That happened later in the show, but yeah. Oh, one thing I wanted to bring up was Jim Ross. He's not looking so hot.
No, all those little things were kind of cool. The Cody Rhodes one was fantastic.
Yeah.
Where
because if Dusty were still alive, he'd be here on the show somewhere.
You know what? Like, Dusty gives me chills whenever I see anything with Dusty, because he's always so premeditated in how he talks about everything. And
one of the best promos ever in the game. This guy,
like, he could just, everything has this little rhyming gimmick, and it always has like a deep meaning. Like, and just to see Cody talk about that kind of was like, I really appreciated that moment. But yeah, Jarrett looked really bad.
Yeah. But
the Sting moment was kind of weird.
Yeah. He's just like, I'm filming with my iPhone inside my hallway.
Yeah, it's like everyone else's was triple HD and you're filming on like the wrong angle.
Next, we got another fun match.
This match was real good.
We got the Von Erichs. Basically, these are Kevin Von Erich's kids against the Briscoes.
It's like more legacy wrestlers here. If only the Briscoes were related to a Briscoe.
Like Jerry Briscoe.
But it was like a really good match.
Yeah. Even though, what's his name? Was it Marshall wrestles without shoes?
Yeah.
Just like his was it his father or was it Uncle Kerry that used to wrestle?
I think it was Kerry. But they kept talking about it. So like the best ever Ring of Honor tag team, and what are they from? NWA?
The WCCW, World Class Championship.
Yeah, and they were like the best tag team ever from there, and having this match and talking about how they just came off facing FTR, and there was just a lot of really good stuff here.
Yeah, there were little elements added to this that just like, and like I said, even though the Briscoes go over in this match, this was a showcase for the Von Erichs. Like these kids, like, I call them kids, but like
they're probably in their mid-30s.
But like, you know what I mean? Like, these are guys that probably don't get, like I was saying earlier in the show, they don't get that exposure, and this is such good exposure for them.
It is, because like a lot of people here were legacy wrestlers. Like even that young
third generation, fourth generation.
Nick Wayne was like a fourth generation.
Yeah, he's
wrestler.
A fourth generation wrestler.
Like he looked really good.
Buddy Wayne was his dad. Like, but yeah, like it was so well. It was the production quality of this thing. Like it was so well produced. It was really, really good. Next, and like it wasn't a long match. It was a quick match, but it did so much for the Von Erichs.
Yeah, it did.
It made them look like stars.
And just the next match, number one, Deonna Purrazzo is like a god tier wrestler.
Yes,
the female division.
She says it. She's the best technical female wrestler ever.
When we talk about technical wrestling, and I always poke fun at Serena Deeb, or even the way sometimes Thunder Rosa wrestles, because she's a really good technical wrestler as well. But like Deonna Purrazzo was never boring.
Night and day.
Nothing she does is boring. It reminds me of Zack Sabre Jr., where it's just like rolling into a hole. And she has power. She has size for the female division.
That's one thing I noticed too. I put down in this match. These are not your. These are more average, not average look, not in a way that sounds mean, but like
they look realistic wrestlers.
Yes, like they look like they're athletes, like they're not models. You know what I mean? Like,
I get what you're saying, because we grew up on the traditional female wrestling, which was they were only models. They weren't even wrestlers. I
mean, these girls, like, I mean, they have it all. They're talented. They got the side, like they got the ability. They're talented. They're beautiful looking women too. Like they're not like
and Jordan Grace, sorry.
Gresham's wife.
Yeah, she is surprisingly good, because I seen her 1 or 2 times, and then I watched her at Slammiversary. But at Slammiversary, there was so much going on, which that might have been the match of the night. The woman of King of the Queen of the Mountain?
Queen of the Mountain, yeah,
was amazing.
Yeah,
but like there was so much going on, you don't really notice her. She looked really good in this match, and the fact that they had to Rachel Ellering, who her dad, another legacy
legend, Paul Ellering,
but she actually got hurt, and they had to change everything on the fly. And then also,
and they showed the injury too when they pulled her back. You see her ankle.
I mean, but how they changed the match. Well, she was sidelined, but then changed it immediately back when she came in.
Yeah,
and her working through that injury,
and that's the veteran leadership that Perazo and Ellering have as well. And these are 2 squandered WWE talents too.
Yeah, all 3 of these women are really fantastic.
Can you imagine if you had Perazo and Ellering on the women's roster now?
That they have those 3 in Impact, plus they have people like Chelsea Green and among other people. To me, it's like Impact deserves a little bit more credit than it gets, especially now that they have Jonathan Gresham.
Is it official? Gresham's there now?
It's not official, but I'm pretty sure we know that's what's going to happen.
Oh, give me Jonathan Gresham versus Josh Alexander, baby.
Oh, geez. Josh Alexander is a fantastic wrestler as well. And then they have the whole link up with New Japan as well, so we can get some crossovers there too.
Like
Jonathan Gresham versus Zack Sabre Jr.
And clearly AEW and Impact have a good working relationship.
Yeah. It's very smart that these 4 companies, Ring of Honor, AEW, Impact, and New Japan, as well as NWA, all work really comfortably together. Because a lot of the enhancement talent, people don't know this, come from NWA. Most of them are coming from there. And
if you haven't watched NWA Power, it's a half decent show.
I watch it on YouTube, actually.
Yeah.
Whenever I see there's a big match, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It was, and it's a great start. Like when Jordan Grace did the skin the cat, though. When she pulled herself, I'm like, that girl's got power. She
hung on it, too. She just kind of, sat there in the pose, and then,
I'm even arguing to say, this was one of the best women's wrestling matches I've seen in a long time.
I mean, Slammiversary was definitely the best for me, but this was and you know how I feel about 3-way matches, especially 3-way.
But they did this 3-way. They did this right.
Yeah.
This was a good 3-way match.
You gotta always tornado, baby. If you're not tornadoing, I don't care.
I don't care.
I'm jacked up. I'm sorry. You got Andrade and Roosh versus the Lucha Brothers coming up, and
oh my god,
tornado rules. This is gonna be
that's Lucha rules, right? So even if the guy goes out of the ring, the other guy can come in. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. Then we had the aforementioned setup for the Ric Flair match, how they see Jay Lethal training him, and then you got an attitude problem. We don't have a spot on the card for you after I've been training with you for a year. It made Ric Flair look like a dick.
All of this though worked well. The entrances, the little build up. By the way, Jeff Jarrett, wow, bro. Talk this guy is selling to the crowd.
Now, I said this. I go, when Jeff Jarrett is not the focus and he's not booking himself, he is a fantastic performer.
Jay Lethal is already a crowd worker monster in AEW. When I saw what Jeff Jarrett literally tried to start a fight with the fan.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Yeah. He does not get
those one group of people. He circled the ring and came right back to them.
I never it took until now to really appreciate how great of a heel Jeff Jarrett actually is.
Yeah, and it's like you had all good heels in this match in like
Yeah.
their history of being wrestlers.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the whole build up, the whole startup here was good, but there was little signs of what was to come that I didn't catch on until close to the end of the match. The way Ric Flair came out and he couldn't get the belt off, and then he couldn't hold the belt physically once he got the belt off.
Yeah.
His awkward inability to walk. I thought it was all just a sell here. And I'm gonna be honest with you, this match was hard to watch.
It was.
Anytime Ric Flair was involved, it was super hard to watch. When it was Lethal versus Andrade, those moments were amazing.
Oh, and even Lethal or Andrade and Jarrett. Yeah. Oh my God, those two had some fantastic exchanges.
The Ric Flair stuff, especially when he was outside of the ring and they were working the family.
And they bladed, and he bladed.
Ric Flair didn't know what was going on.
No, he was out of it. He was out of it.
The entire second half of the match, I'm 100% convinced he didn't even know he was there.
He even said it. He even said it at the end of the match. Remember, he goes, "I don't know where the fuck I am."
he was. There was a point where Andrade switched out with him. He knew something was up. He got him over to the side of the ring, and he could not get his body up. He was just lying on the floor.
But then, if you look too, there's a point where Andrade's in, and he's just leaning on the turnbuckle, just staring off into space, and he's just like zoned out.
Yeah,
he was basically in there. He got his few spots in. Like, you know, even those chops, like, they looked a little weak.
No, but starting off in the match, once again, it kind of throws you off because when he first came in, you're like, okay, I get what they're doing with him. Some little dipsy doodles. He's going to take a bump. He's going to get out. He came in again. It happened again. It was okay. Then the next time when he was giving those chops and he wasn't even moving his arm, he was just turning his body and hitting them. And I was like, you know what? Big up to Jay Lethal for selling the shit out of that.
Yeah.
You know, and
Jarrett.
Yeah, but Jay Lethal doesn't get enough credit. We talked about this last time. He's one of the most underappreciated wrestlers. If as far as raw talent goes and character, he's one of the greatest of all time.
And he goes unnoticed.
Unnoticed. Yeah. His whole character is just Ric Flair and Macho Man put together. And it's so good. It's so good. He's such a good heel. He can make anybody's match good.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like even the Ring of Death Before Dishonor, like that Joe Lethal match was better than it had any right to be again.
And there's a reason why they picked him to come train for Ric Flair for this match, because he's known as one of the greatest trainers that there is.
Yeah, and they knew he was going to be protecting him.
Yeah, and he really did. On the suplexes, you could see him whispering, like, get ready, this is about to happen.
Yeah.
Got him up, really cradled him for the fall.
Yeah.
Made sure he landed on his side. I really had trouble watching this match for how good of an event this was up to this point.
Yeah.
I really was like, and
I even put like the other three had to carry the match.
It was a scary match to watch because like when you realize that Ric Flair is not there, it was like, oh shit, someone's gonna land on him, someone's gonna step on him. Every time he got picked up to do a move, he immediately just went right back to the floor and stayed there. The brass knuckles moment was
he couldn't even put them on.
He didn't know what he was giving him. He kept giving them back to him.
Yeah.
But I had and then
even at the finish at the end, he has him in the figure four, and he's just he's not even moving. He's just laying on the ground.
He wasn't supposed to put him in a figure four. He was supposed to pin him. And he put him in a figure four, but God bless him. Like, let him do whatever he wants. He looked like shit. He's really fucking old.
He's only a year older than my dad.
Hey, but he looks like fucking shit. I'm sorry for swearing so much, but like, the final moments of the match, like at the end, the talking, him giving everybody, all the wrestlers, like the lucha guys were out there, and everyone was giving a fist bump. I teared up.
It was a fantastic passing of the torch.
When he saw Undertaker, that was like a moment. That was like a special moment. Like he really was like, I love this guy, you know, because he immediately pushed Mick Foley to the side when he saw Bret Hart. He was like, holy shit, Bret Hart's here.
Yeah.
But But seeing the three of them there with each other was like.
There was one thing I found a little awkward at the end, though. You see Charlotte yelling, "Dad, Dad, Dad," and he walks right by her.
Yeah, and I didn't even know that was Charlotte that was with Kid Rock in that section the whole time. I was like, who the hell is that person?
Yeah.
And then he tried to bring Ric Flair, Andrade tried to bring Ric Flair back for Charlotte, and he passed by her and went and gave everybody props. He didn't know where he was.
Yeah, he totally didn't know. Absolutely. But I think that's also WWE. They kind of wanted to keep Charlotte's involvement very low key on this, even though there was
it's a pay-per-view, so technically it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it's also very obviously there's WWE involvement because you had Undertaker there, you had Bret Hart there, you had Mick Foley there, who are still
DDP,
part of the Legends.
Sure DDP is still on the Legends thing.
No, DDP's with AEW.
Is he?
Yeah.
But, I love the guy.
But I mean, but for Ric Flair, like, I mean, I'm sure they're going to let things slide.
Yeah, and I mean, there was another like almost crybaby moment too at the end.
Yeah.
When first I was like, "Oh fuck, this guy's messed up." Like he drops the title.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What's happening?" But then when he saw Jay Lethal and they hugged it out, I was like, "Oh man, this is for real right now. Like you're trying to make everybody cry."
Yeah. Like, because like you could see the appreciation and how much Ric Flair really loved the fact that Jay Lethal did that for him.
Yeah, and then the inclusion of Conrad in a lot of the elements of this match, and like all the little things that were happening.
That little video package at the end as the credits were rolling of all the old photos. I'm getting misty-eyed right now just thinking about it.
Yeah, because you remember Ric Flair now, but nobody really remembers, like the real fans do, but like you remember modern day Ric Flair. You don't remember 1970s, 1980s Ric Flair.
The man who walked away from a freaking plane crash so he wasn't seen with the baby faces.
His whole like rivalry with Dusty.
Yeah.
That gets overlooked as one of the greatest rivalries of all time.
His rivalry with Ricky Steamboat.
Like people don't even remember that. His coming into when they changed to WCW, when he put over Sting.
Yeah.
The little bit later, the whole thing with Vader. We talked about this on
Lex
an episode.
Luger. Like Lex he said it. Luger said there'd be no Lex Luger if there was no Ric Flair.
Yeah, there was a lot of feel good moments in this. I just wish this match didn't happen.
I think too, because a lot like an industry like this, a lot of wrestlers end up passing or get injured that they're not afforded this opportunity for one last, because they don't realize.
And I think he knows
some people
that.
Don't know when their last match will be in this industry.
And I think he knows that. And I think he knows this is the last match.
Yeah. And
just to see, I'm going to be honest with you, DDP, Undertaker, Mick Foley, and Bret Hart was enough for me.
Even Vicky.
Yeah, Vicky. Yeah, I forgot Vicky was there. Yeah, you're right. And that was a thing too. And he hugged her. Like, he really. That's what weirded me out. That how he was so cognizant of the people that were in the crowd, but he didn't know what was happening when he was in the ring. Because he recognized the faces, but he doesn't realize what's going on. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Because he was definitely concussed. Oh, a lot concussed. Yeah, but I mean, this was. But all around, it was a good card. Oh, it was amazing. I'm very happy I watched this. Yeah. This is going to be a hard one to place. I'm going to score this. Sure. I think that like, there's just so much nostalgia here. I'm going to say this as an entire event was like a 7.5. Yeah, I'm in that area too. 7.4, 7.5 as well. I'm gonna cheat nostalgia wise, and I would say if you're a wrestling fan, this is like a 9. This is a must watch. Yes. If you want my real rating, it's a 7.5. But if you want me just to get you over the edge to watch it, this is a must watch. There's so many pulls from history. And here. Someone who grew up in that 70s and 80s era of AWA, WCW, NWA, this was of some of these people that have gone forgotten. Paying respects to the road that was paved before you. You know what I mean? And basically. I think we forget about that a lot in wrestling, where especially in WWE, where they only choose to acknowledge the history that they choose, which I'm hoping gets fixed now that Vince is gone. Because like AEW, New Japan respects their history is very important.
Like to this
in
day, they'll
all
still talk
Japan.
about Vader and Dick Murdoch and all that. Like
Vader is like an absolute legend.
yeah, same thing with Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle. Like they'll still
Oh yeah,
bring
come on, Scott Norton.
But yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm at about 7.4, 7.5. I really enjoyed this show.
Yeah.
Like I said, if I'm just going on nostalgia, this was a 9.5. On nostalgia.
If you want to point out anything, the first two matches are not fantastic, but they're still good. And then the only really sour point of this whole event is the second half of the Ric Flair match, which you kind of forget when you get all those nostalgia feels of seeing the people in the crowd and him saying.
I think that's when he took that first bump and he was out. Like that's where it kind of started falling apart. Absolutely. But other than that, it was a good show. What was your favorite match of the night?
This is a hard one for me. I'm gonna say the Lucha match.
Yeah.
I really want to say the Takeshita match, but I think the Lucha match was pretty good.
Yeah.
Just entertainment wise.
I might even say the women's match.
If we were gonna go just on what was the best in ring like skill, but even the Lucha match was kind of still up there for me in that respect. But there was just the women's matches, it was great.
Yeah, it was
the Takeshita match was really good. The Briscoes match was really good.
Really good, yeah.
The whole card is really good.
Yeah. This card was better than it at first. Like, and I'll be honest with everybody watching, like at first we weren't sure whether we were going to review the show or not.
Yeah.
But then when we heard so many, like we had to. And
I think a big thing for me not giving it more than a 7.5, because I think it kind of maybe deserves that, is like the weak points that I pointed out, and the audio issues were a huge issue for me.
Yep.
The fact that you couldn't really ever hear the crowd takes you out of the match as a bit. It was very silent.
Yeah.
And then there was no stakes to anything. None of the matches have stakes. Yeah. Which, well, I mean, mind you, the title matches, but they both people retained. So it didn't, you know what I mean?
If there was a title change on the show, then maybe.
For sure. And if I could hear the crowd, I really think I would have gave us more points.
Yeah. But all around, solid show, fun watch. I definitely this is definitely a must watch. If you're a wrestling fan and love wrestling history, this was a must watch. Definitely a must watch. So with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. Go back on yesterday's episode. We reviewed the New Japan Week 3. So go hear our thoughts on that if you haven't already. Next Monday or Tuesday, depending on how I feel, we'll have our Week 4 review. And then after that, we'll all wrap it up with our G1 finale. So like I said, Discord server down below, go follow that for all your wrestling notifications. And on that note, everybody, see y'all next time.